Hi, welcome to the Gray Barn. We're at Woodstock Farm Sanctuary, which is our nonprofit that helps farmed animals. And then this is our on-site inn where people can stay and get a good vegan breakfast and really like immersive, fun experience at the sanctuary.
Well, I'd love to take a tour.
Of course.
The space in here is so awesome. This would be the perfect spot to have your vegan wedding.
Well, people can rent out the whole building, and we do weddings on site. They obviously have to be vegan, but what I love about it is you can like rent it all out for either your honeymoon suite or your rehearsal dinner, even. So you can rent the whole space. So this is my favorite part of the Gray Barn, which is the view. Wow. This is the rondout. So it's a beautiful creek that goes right through the property. And then we're overlooking a goat field. So actually in the morning when people are eating breakfast out here on the deck, the goats come up and
they know.
And they stand at the deck, and even though no one's allowed to give them food, they're hoping that one day it'll happen. This is Dixie. She was rescued from a farm when she was a baby with her mother, Marin. You know, like that's the whole point, is her, right? So we wanted to make sure that like we're really featuring them. And we call them the residents because we're here to take care of them. They're not entertainment. Our job is to take care of them and actually advocate for them, so they're our residents. This is like, honestly, the best kitchen. I think we were also jealous of this kitchen and like I wish I could cook in it every day. So Lee comes in the morning, makes coffee, makes breakfast, people sit down to eat, and it's just this communal experience. And what we've actually found is because there's usually a mix of people here. There's people that have been to the sanctuary that are animal rights activists and that are vegans. And then there's people that are just kind of checking it out. And so it's actually a really nice mix of folks. And the vegans actually start telling their vegan story like we all do. I was mostly vegetarian when I was a kid and then became solidly vegetarian when I was 10. I was just had been vegetarian for a long time and I didn't eat a lot of dairy and eggs, but never really thought about it. And my mom was actually dying of cancer, and I just felt like I was surrounded, and I was working at a dog shelter at the time, a really high intake city dog shelter where we were seeing a lot of dogs coming in, and there were a lot of dogs being killed just because they weren't getting adopted. And I was just surrounded by all this like suffering and sadness, and I started just thinking about ways that I could reduce suffering as much as possible in my life and reduce harm, and I started looking into dairy and eggs. So,
And you mean cut it out?
Cut it out, yeah, just done. So that was 14 years ago, and honestly, veganism's been easy.
Well, I see Caesar room.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So each of the rooms is named after one of the residents here. So this is named after Caesar, the amazing senior cow who is actually featured there. So we actually have a giant painting of all the animals that the rooms are named after. Every room has its own bathroom, and also they have their own private deck.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So your morning coffee, open the doors, and really take in the fresh air.
So we were founded in 2014 outside of Woodstock, so hence the name, and it was just founded on a very small piece of property with at max about 200 animals. In 2014, I was actually hired, and we started expanding our team and like doing more advocacy, and bought this property and did the big move in 2015, which has just expanded everything.
So can you tell me about, these animal stories? Where are they coming from, and how do they get here?
Well, they're all representative of animal agriculture in some way. So every animal we have here, with the exception of the llama, who just happened, they escape themselves by and large. So a lot of them have jumped off the back of slaughterhouse trucks and ran for safety. We have a lot of those stories, a lot of escapees who come in very traumatized. We also work with police and local law enforcement to do cruelty investigations. That's a rarity because the animal cruelty laws that apply to farmed animals are very sparse, and you can things that you can legally do to a pig. If you did that to your dog, you'd be in jail. We just took in a sheep and her baby. He's like 2 weeks old, this little lamb. And they actually came here the day after Toni Morrison died. So her name is Toni and his name is Morrison. Mm-hmm. And they were found in New Jersey running along a road, and they have ear tags from a local auction house. So we think that they escaped or were let go and ran for their lives. And he's just a baby. He's still nursing. He's like this big.
Barely able to really
walk, but
even.
they know. You know, oftentimes when these animals come to us, they're
traumatized.
They're traumatized. David wouldn't come near me for a year. And now he's
still picky.
Yeah, he's still picky. If he recognizes you and he knows you're nice, he'll come over. And every animal here is represents the billions that you'll never get to know. So we feel very privileged to be able to tell the story of the few that are here, and you know, they're just special.
There's a llama! Oh my gosh, look at those teeth.
But it was an older couple, and they had her as a companion, but they kept her in not a great area, and she was scaring their grandchildren. So,
you know, growing up, I've always loved goats, but my interaction has always been at a petting farm or a petting zoo. And I've never seen goats with full-grown antlers or horns.
Horns. That's because most of the animals at petting zoos are babies, whereas at a sanctuary you can actually meet seniors. So all 4 of these are sort of older animals. These 3 were rescued from a goat dairy farm, which was really terrible. And then Buddy just came here a couple weeks ago because he was someone's companion goat. He rubs his head on you if he likes you. What do you think, Budsky?
Is that your new best friend?
I have a couple candidates, but yes. So what happens on farms is they mutilate bodies so that the animals can't harm each other because they're crammed into such tight environments. And so what they do with the goats is they disbud them or they dehorn them and remove their horns without anesthetic so that they don't grow horns so that they can't hurt each other. What's sad though and awful about that is that you can feel how hot Kellen's horn is at the base. So it's like cartilage up here, and then down here he's got capillaries in it, so it's very painful if you cut them off. As of last week, where we did a very large rescue, we have 440 animals here on site.
And so what does it take to actually maintain over 400 animals?
We constantly need to be fundraising to care for everybody. Our biggest cost is payroll and medical. So we have a full-time caregiving team that takes care of everyone here.
And so when you say medical, you mean veterinarian?
Yeah, we're going to spend this year about $400,000 on medical bills.
Wow. So what is the significance behind giving every animal a name?
They're individuals, and they are all different. And so when we keep medical records and we keep histories on all of them, and we do it under their names versus a number because we want people, because they all deserve a name.
With the names, do any of the animals become familiar with that being their calling term?
Yeah. We just lost our oldest goat, Bert, here a couple weeks ago. And one of the things I loved about him is you would walk in there, you go Bert, and you go brrr. Yeah. He'd look at you like, yes, I know.
Wow.
I know, this is Rudy. He's not a very big pig.
Wait, he's not a very big pig?
No. He's a sweetheart. He's another survivor of the petting zoo industry.
His butt is too cute. I mean, talk about corgi butt.
So these are our senior pigs. So these are what full-grown pigs look like. So they get up in the morning, they eat breakfast, they go outside and they sit in the mud bath for a while, then they nap, and then they eat dinner, and then they nap. So they spend about 22 hours a day just napping.
And what do they eat? Because I hear pig slop.
Yeah, so pigs are omnivores. So they're just like humans, and that they can eat a wide variety of food. They're bred by humans to get so big. We had to keep them on a really healthy diet, which is a grain and then produce. So we have local people that donate, like the local farmers donate produce to us.
That's awesome.
So that we can feed them. But they're kept on an all vegan diet. You gonna rub your butt? Oh, scritches.
That is so cute.
Isn't he cute? That's Buster, he's trouble. So we focus specifically on animals that are used, again with the exception of the llama, that are used in the food industries. Sometimes that means though, we have a bunch of rabbits, and rabbits are used for food. They're tested on. We just rescued a rabbit that was used in being a veterinary clinic for testing, who was gonna be killed. They're used for wool, their fur. They're used for their full, like Angora rabbits, they're used for fur production, and they're used in entertainment. So they're exploited in every possible way. So we rescue rabbits. We've had ducks in the past from the down industry.
For having us today. It's just really been a wonderful experience to really learn more and see the reason why I'm a vegan, and I hope to share it.
Oh, thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
out. Yeah, we're really, we feel very lucky to be here doing this work, and like honestly that anyone who can come out and just even if it's for a couple hours on a weekend and spend some time with some goats, it really is like, it's life-changing.